Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Meet the Artist. I'm Joan Turner, the bookkeeper of the Greater Havel Arts Association, and we are happy to bring our podcast to you. They are a special membership benefit. We like to get our artists to be known. There's always a backstory, how they get started, all this cool stuff, so on and so forth. So we want you to meet them, and we want to get to know more about them too. As the bookkeeper, I see their names often, but I don't often get to put the messages with the faces and the stories. Okay, so Greater Havel Arts Association is a very active art association all through the COVIDian era and beyond. If you want to know more about the Greater Havel Arts Association, it's www.ghaa.art. Okay, and without further ado, let me introduce you to the wonderful Miss Heather Karp. So I want to introduce once again Heather Karp. How are you, my dear?
Good, thank you. How are
Very
you?
good. I am doing awesome. So this is our redo. This is our second time around. We got kind of stuck in something last time, so we're going to continue on for here. We were talking about it being the holiday season. It's like mid-December, and I just really appreciate you taking our time to sit and talk with us and once again, if you don't mind, tell us like how you got started and your
Mhm.
favorite medium and all that good
Okay.
stuff.
So I've been pretty much doodling and drawing and painting all my life. And in my 20s, I suffered a ruptured brain aneurysm when I was 29, that took me out of the world for a few years. And one of the ways that I regained some of my fine motor skills was painting, which was really helpful for me. Um, at a time when I felt like I had lost literally everything. Um,
Yeah, I bet. That sounds scary to me.
yeah, it changed the course of my life in a split second.
Yeah,
Um,
you said you had been in one line of work and totally changed what you were doing, correct?
yeah, yeah, I was in publishing, in an executive role, and I tried to go back to that role many times after over the course of years, and was unable due to I have significant memory issues and some executive functioning issues
Yeah, yeah.
that still impact me today. Um, so I had to kind of pivot, and
Yeah,
painting was a great way to um, fill that void that I had,
yeah.
because it was a big void.
Yeah,
It was
it's
a big void.
I
Um,
hear these stories often, like someone will be in one direction, their life is going in one direction. Something happens to change that direction. And I often wonder if there's synchronicity at play when stuff like that happens. Like, this is maybe where you're supposed to be. Too bad if it is true that it has to be such a god awful way of showing us that we need to change direction. But
yes,
yeah,
and yeah, yeah, it's a big lesson to have to learn, but
yeah.
you go
So
with it. You go with what you go.
that's right.
I'm not gonna lie, I still struggle with the acceptance piece of it.
Sure, I
Um,
bet.
but you just continue to move forward every day. And
Yeah,
so yeah, I took a couple classes, one with Julia Raldi, who I love, and then one with little Lolly Schwartz, whom I also love. And then decided to kind of go off on my own and learn, um, really try to think about my own style and the way I want to put marks on a paper and on a canvas. Um,
yeah,
because I think in a very unique way, especially since my brain injury.
I bet.
My brain thinks it's it's um, it's very loud. My mind has become very loud since the brain injury,
Wow.
and painting helps quiet it down sometimes, not always. And so yeah, I work in acrylic now, but I used to work in oil for years, which I love. I love oil painting. And
Yeah, I think one of the words you used to describe it was buttery. I'm like,
yeah, I love it.
wow,
It's so
that was so
delicious.
cool. It's like,
It
like,
is
it's such a
delicious.
buttery, you see it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
that's
went,
cool.
so Robin Thornhill and I went Friday night, we went to KSD Designs in Newport. They had like an open house and
Hmm.
we're both showing some paintings there. And there were
So
the
where is that? Yeah, is it still there? Can people go
yeah,
see it?
it's an interior design shop and it's they have a little gallery space,
Okay.
but she curated,
Uh-huh.
several artists
Nice.
and several of my favorite artists in New
Nice.
England. And Amy Berger. I never say her last name correctly. It's Brnger. I
Okay.
love her work, and she's an
Nice.
oil painter. And you look at her work, and you just want to like. It's just yummy. It's just delicious.
I love
And
it. I love the
it makes me want
description.
to go back to
Yeah.
oil painting whenever I see that kind of work,
Yeah.
because with acrylics, you can add mediums, you can add this, you can add that. I actually found, cold wax for oil. I just found
Yes.
cold wax for acrylic.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's rubbery, but I'm
Uh-huh.
trying to see what it looks
Right.
like,
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of get that feel of
Uh,
like, oil painting.
different. Is it different? Yeah.
Not the same. It's just not, you don't get that. It's the flatness. Acrylics is, there's so much flatness. I mean, you can build up, you can build up, you can build up, you can build up, but there's something missing in my eye
Yeah.
anyway, in
Yeah.
my eye and how I see it and what
Yeah.
I feel.
Uh-huh.
There's something missing, but I do love acrylics. I mean, I love acrylics and I love oils. There's great things for both.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And we talked a little bit before, but did you say you would mix the mediums or that you would do sometimes I'll do like a background in acrylic and then I'll do oil over it on the same painting because I feel the same way. The blending is different and so on and so
hmm.
forth. So
Yeah, Robin. So I don't normally
okay.
do that, but
Yeah.
Robin was telling me, let's do this. She's like, because her and I share a studio at Cedar Street in Amesbury.
Nice.
And she's like, why don't you just put some oils over your acrylics? And I'm like,
Okay. Well,
maybe
I
that's
couldn't.
what I'll do. I'm like,
Yeah,
great idea.
I did not understand if you were doing an acrylic painting and an oil painting or using the two mediums together, and you are
Yeah.
using them to.
So
Okay, that is so cool. Okay,
yeah.
very nice.
So that's kind of what I'm going to start doing. And my next, so the series that I just finished, and Robin and I just had a big show in Newport, was from Iceland. I went over to Iceland in the summer, and it was magic.
I
And
bet.
oh, it was magical. Yeah. I mean, if you can go anywhere in this world, you've
Go to
got to go to Iceland.
I would
There is
love to.
something happening in Iceland. There is another world that exists paralleling Iceland. Like, I'm
I,
telling you, I thought dragons and fairies and trolls and things were going to come out of the woodwork. Like, I was waiting. I
I
was hoping. I was like, please make it
please,
happen.
please. I love it. I love it. That's right up my alley. I love it.
But that's where my paintings came from. So I don't
I was
paint from
just going to
reference, but
ask you that. Did it influence your painting? Did you make
yeah,
paintings?
yeah.
Okay. And
So,
now I think you said you don't necessarily work from photographs.
right.
So are you painting Iceland from your memory of it?
I'm painting Iceland from my feeling I got from it. Yeah. And
Oh,
sometimes,
okay.
like if a color, like there are a lot of orange rooftops. Our
Really?
tour guide, this is gonna be funny. I went on a couple tours and our tour
Nice.
guide looked like a Viking. He was very handsome
I love
and,
it. Yeah,
and
yeah.
he had the orange hat on and it just kind of stuck in my memory bank. And
Okay.
so one of the paintings is called Passing by a Fishing Village.
I
And
love
there's a
it.
lot of orange notes in it, a lot of bright orange notes in it that speak to that memory of it just stuck in my head.
All right.
Um,
Perfect. I love it. I love it.
yeah,
Should we try this share screen thing again? I'd
try it
love for
again.
you to share your artwork. That would be awesome. Okay,
Okay,
so
let's
on this
see.
side it says yes, you can share it.
Okay, so you have to disable the screen sharing.
Disable it?
Yeah, it says host disabled.
Oh, I did. All right, let's try this. Okay, try it again.
Okay, and
Aha,
okay,
Heather has started screen sharing. Okay.
Okay. Um, can you see that?
I can see it. I can see it. Yes. You have a lot of stuff in the background, like
Okay.
the water. So you could maybe X that out.
Oops. Can
Oh,
you see
perfect,
that?
perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So,
this is a photo, a painting I did of Iceland. Um, again from my mind, and right in the lower right hand is a church. There's
okay.
1100 churches on in Iceland.
Uh,
And it's great that Iceland's a big country. Like there's not many people that live there, but it's giant. The land is vast.
I was just going to say that to you. How big is it? I'm geographically challenged. Anyone who
It's
knows me will tell
um
you.
it's the size, they say, of Kentucky. And there's, I think, 430,000 people, I believe, don't quote me on that, but I think 430,000 people live there, whereas in Kentucky, I think there's like, what, 3 or 4 million people that live there? And again, don't quote me on that. Um, but I mean, so there's not, and most of the people are situated in Reykjavik. Um, but it's interesting, there's scattered throughout these lands are 1100 churches, because the weather is crazy there. So back in they'd have to get from church. The church is very important to them in religion. And so you think about, like, I just was fascinated by all these little churches. And then there
Yeah,
were no trees. There were very few trees. So there's a
really.
single tree, etched into the center of my painting. And that just kind of came out of me. That's what I saw as I was. So what I start with when I paint, underneath this painting is all black. I'll start
Okay.
I'll start really just getting marks on the canvas. It's a 3 by 3 foot painting.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and
Okay.
I'll start just kind of getting marks just to loosen up and just to start seeing shapes.
Okay.
And then I'll start thinking about colors that speak to me. And I have certain colors that I like anyway.
Me too.
Um, and then shapes will start to speak to me and come out and start to play, and I'll like explore those shapes. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And I really like working with edges, hard and soft edges. So I'm really always exploring that. And then in this particular series, I did the sky. It almost has a division like of the sky, because I
Yeah.
truly believe there's two worlds existing in Iceland. There is an otherworldly feeling there. It's magic. So
I
a
love
lot
it.
of my paintings in this series had a split sky,
Uh-huh.
um, which spoke to me. So
I do feel that. I feel like there's a division there. There's some kind of a split there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there was beautiful colors within Reykjavik. The buildings were all painted, and the sidewalks were painted, and it was just it's a beautiful place.
Nice. Iceland. Okay.
So let's see. Okay, this is Iceland. This is so if you look closely, if you zoom out, you'll see a dragon. Um, so in the center, there's the dragon's mouth, and up top here, there's the dragon's eye.
Use your
Um,
cursor. Use your cursor to show
okay,
us what you're talking about.
so
Because
right,
I,
see here, here's the
okay,
dragon's
yeah,
ear, and you
that's his
follow it
what?
around his ear, and then
Okay.
you follow it
Oh,
around
okay.
his
Now I see
eye,
it. Now I see
and
it.
then his mouth,
Yep.
and his wings.
All right.
And so I went to a waterfall, and inside in the mountain, in the side of the mountain that was sitting next to this waterfall,
Uh-huh.
under the grass, was a dragon. I should, if
I
I could
love it.
bring up a picture, I would. It looked like there was a sleeping dragon in the mountain. It was
Amazing.
magical. So that really stuck to me. And this is called Chasing the Sun. I'm always chasing the sun. I like sunlight. And when we were there, the sunlight was there all day long and all night. And I loved that.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
So
You
um
didn't have any trouble sleeping with the light all the time?
no, no, I
No.
loved it. I actually liked being up too.
That's great. That's great.
This one's Plum Island. Yeah, this one's Plum Island. Again, this really speaks to the mark making. I just enjoy seeing how marks work next to one another, and how shapes, maybe some big massive shapes work
Uh-huh.
together here. Like this area here really works together. And then you have these little vignettes, within a painting. I like the notion of little paintings within a bigger
Hmm.
painting.
I see. Yeah.
Um, and then the idea of layering upon layering upon layering, it kind of reminds me of like the story of life. Like there's so many layers of us. There's just,
Hmm.
you see, what you see on the outside isn't there's so much going on.
That's very
You know,
introspective and very deep, actually. Very
yeah.
nice. Yeah.
So a lot of my paintings have a lot of movement.
Hmm.
There's a lot of movement within
Sure.
my work. Um,
Okay, I have to ask, it'd be
yeah,
my left, but there's two kind of green shapes over on
here,
my left with pink in there. They look like twins, but I'm not sure twins of what.
right here or right here.
I don't see your cursor. Wait a minute. Where are you? Oh, yeah, right in there. Yes.
Yeah, this is a
What's
tree.
going
This is
on there?
yeah, this is just a beautiful tree that I always look to
Okay.
at in Plum Island. That reminds me of my childhood. I
Oh,
always kind of
really?
stick it in. Yeah, I always stick it in.
Nice.
And
Okay.
there's a lot of hearts. I don't know if there's a lot of hearts within my work. There's a heart here, there's a heart there.
Yeah,
There's
I can
always
see.
there's organic heart shapes within my work.
I love it.
And the pink represents me. So if
I
you
was
see,
just gonna say the pink looks like a person, a shape
yeah,
of a
it's me.
person.
So that's my vibration within my work.
Nice.
I feel very, very connected to the earth. Like sometimes I feel more connected to nature than I do people. I
Yeah.
have a harder time. I have a lot of social anxiety. I have OCD. I'm not, I'm very vocal about it. I'm an advocate and everything.
Mhm.
I've had it since I was 4. Um, and sometimes it takes me out of the world and is hard for me to express, be in the world basically because I'm so consumed with my mind. And but I've never lost touch with nature, even all of these years. So
I know this is
that's
off
why
the beaten path a little bit, but what's your astrological sign?
Pisces.
Pisces. Ah, okay.
Yeah,
That's
I'm a true
very
Pisces.
creative, very creative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
So yeah, so yeah, the refuge, Plum Island is something I've always painted.
Yeah.
It's somewhere I go to meditate. It's somewhere I go to do yoga. It's somewhere I've always gone as a child.
Nice.
Yeah, I love Plum Island.
Nice.
So
Nice.
it's somewhere I'll paint a lot. Oh, that's a video of my work. Oh, oh, hold on a minute.
Nice.
Let's see if I can. Oh, okay.
So who's in that picture with you? That is
Oh,
that? Oh, okay.
that was um. So this was from a show. There's Robin Thornhill.
Okay. There she is.
This was at the Newburyport studio in Newburyport on State Street.
Hmm.
Um, and it's a beautiful space on the 3rd floor on 59 State Street. And I won a raffle in October
You
and I got
did.
the whole space to
Nice.
do a show. And I asked Robin to share the space with me and do a group show, do a 2-person show.
Yep.
And she's very traditional and I'm very abstract. And we used pink as a cohesion because she
Uh-huh.
loves pink too.
Yep.
And our work really works well together. Um, so yeah, we had a really good time doing that show.
Nice.
It was really
Very
fun. Um, and let's see if I can show you. I just wanted to show you one other piece. This is another piece from Iceland I did. It's called Freya's Tears. I love Norse mythology. Um, and it's obviously very abstract, but it speaks to this notion of, I feel like the land, when I was there, I felt like the land, there was a lot of voices in the land. Like there were definitely, you could feel the historical, like the history of that place. Like not anything like the United, like it was just amazing. I found it just amazing in the vastness of the land. Like there were so many different big masses of shapes
Uh-huh.
and like the greens of the grasses, but and then the skies and the clouds. You, you have to go.
I am I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
book a ticket here. Get a
it
ticket.
was just magical, and the people were so kind and beautiful, and the
Nice.
voices, the language is stunning, and yeah.
So
So
this picture has a lot of pink in it. So this
yeah,
still
this one's a
represents
little
you.
sadder. This one's a little darker. This one's more, not so happy. Um, yeah, it's the ending of something.
Was
It's the
this
ending.
towards the end of your trip?
No, it speaks to the something I'm going through right now. So it's the
Ah,
ending of something. And
okay.
yeah, and
Yeah, it feels alive to me.
convoluting.
Yeah, it feels alive to me, but definitely, um, yeah, something's going on. I mean, there's a cloud on the left side here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, very interesting. I like it. And there's
Yeah,
that
and
that
this is a
separation.
person. This the red and the pink is a female figure,
Okay.
bent over,
Yeah.
um, you know,
Mm-hmm.
grieving.
Grieving.
And
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a
and
lot going on here. There's a
yeah.
lot of little white strings in here.
Mhm.
Do you paint them on, or are you
That's
dripping
I
them on?
use those woody crayons?
I guess not. Woody
No, yeah,
crayon?
they're fun. Yeah, they're called woody crayons.
Okay.
Yeah, they're great. They're big and they're all
Oh,
different colors. You can get them on Amazon.
okay.
Yeah,
Look
I
up
love using those. They're awesome.
woody crayons. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go look them up. Now, is this a big, huge picture also?
Yeah, all my work is 3 by 3.
Okay, so why so big? Because you have a lot to say?
I just love
Big.
to be able, I love the freedom of painting and like I like the actual motion of painting big.
All
I feel
right.
very constricted when I'm painting small,
Ah,
but
yeah,
yeah, it's funny because it's harder to sell big work.
uh, yeah,
I mean, depending,
yep.
and I always say, oh, I should paint small. I should paint small.
Not
But
necessarily.
I'm like, you
It,
know what? I got to do what I got to do. You got
that's
to paint
right.
how what speaks to you,
That's
and
right.
eventually someone will find you.
Yep,
I mean, you got to
absolutely.
put yourself out there. You can't, paint in a box in a bubble.
Mhm.
But
Yeah. Yeah, I just was having this conversation with someone just the other day that absolutely it's easier to sell smaller paintings because if people see it and they like it, they're like, I'll buy it, I'll find a place for it. But a piece that's really big, you have to already have a place in your mind before you actually buy it, or else what
yeah,
am I going to do with it type of thing. So,
yeah,
and I agree with you. I think using like a really small canvas or painter, you're trying to put little things in little spaces. You know,
hmm,
when you're working big, you're right. You can be expansive with the strokes and so on and so
it's
forth.
so freeing.
It's
And
very
yeah, and if you
freeing.
start, I mean, if and we all get caught up in this. Every artist, I'm sure, we get caught up with. If you start with the idea, okay, am I going to sell this?
Right.
Who's going to buy this?
Hmm.
You're paralyzed from the start.
From the start. That's exactly
Forget
right.
about it. You're
Totally
done.
agree. How long
Yeah,
have you
because
been doing this now? I know you said
um
29. You had a
yeah, I didn't
aneurysm.
start painting seriously till probably 2009.
Oh, okay. So you've been
Yeah,
at
and then
this
I
for a
took some
while.
breaks. I took some breaks here and there, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Um,
Okay.
and
Tell
I
us.
do it part-time. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
when you do you find that when you go through a hard time, that the art can be very therapeutic? I actually had taken some courses in art as a therapy and found that
Mm,
that actually works. You know, it's like music. Music heals. I play ukulele with a group, and that's their little
that's
tagline,
awesome.
music heals. But I think art does as well. You know, it's
I
very
agree.
healing,
Yeah.
meditative, healing thing to do.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think art is
know. I
very
don't know
healing.
if we actually got this on interview, but how did you start out again? All right, you started out when you were very young by doodling on everything, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly. 'Cause so
I
at
remember
least,
I used to remember the Muppets.
yes, yes,
I used to draw Mrs. Piggy for my father over and over again.
yeah, yeah, and he loved
I'd draw
every
Mrs. Piggy
single
and
one
give
of
it to
them.
him. Draw Mrs. Piggy and give it to him.
Give it to him, give it to him. Okay, all right.
And
So,
I loved Mrs. Piggy. I had a Mrs. Piggy lunchbox.
oh my goodness, I was like Cinderella, the whole
Yeah.
bought into that whole thing.
Yeah, I was a strawberry shortcake kind
Strawberry
of person.
shortcake.
And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So, what do you have a favorite piece of your own, or are they just all your children? Or do you have a favorite piece?
It's interesting, yeah, because I don't have a problem letting go of my work. I
Uh-huh.
prefer it to be in other people's homes.
Nice. That's a good way
Yeah,
to put it. Yeah.
yeah. I donate a lot of my work. I give away a lot of my work because I'm like, what's the point of it just sitting there?
Hmm.
Um,
Right.
but
I agree.
my favorite piece, I don't know if I could share it. I don't, you want me to try to share it again?
Sure, absolutely.
Let's see if I can, no, no. Um, no.
I love that picture, by the way. That looks like well, looks like an animal. Oh, those are nice too. 2021.
I don't know why it's okay.
And that's
Um,
very cool stuff.
okay, I don't know why.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right, I guess I can't
Well,
share it.
well, maybe, yeah.
I'll describe it. It's from my Refuge series. It was a particular painting. It just came together so well. And I don't know why, because the shapes, you look at it and you don't think it would work. Like you think, why does this work? It doesn't make any sense. But for
That
some reason, all
Well,
the
that
colors and
raises a very
lines.
good question. What does make a painting successful for you? How do
Mm,
you, if you look at my work, your work, someone else's work, if you look at a piece of artwork, what
mm.
makes it a successful piece to you?
For my work, what makes it successful is a feeling.
The feeling.
And I'm not
Okay.
sure that's the best way to approach it,
Yeah,
but
no, it
that
works.
I get a sense of when it's complete. And
Okay.
it might not look complete for everyone. Like Robin will say, like 2 days before it's done. I'm like, it's not done.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
And then
totally.
I'm like, now it's done. Um, it just
Totally
has
agree.
it, yeah, it has a feeling. I have a connection to it now. It
Mhm.
makes sense to my brain.
Right,
Might
right.
not make sense to someone else's brain, but it
Yeah.
makes sense to my brain.
Yeah, I like that
Um,
you paint for yourself. A lot of artists, it's how they make their living. Some people take commissions, so on and so forth. But the most rewarding artwork that I ever do is when I do it for myself. And I think that you're already kind of locked into that. Okay, it's like this is me that I'm putting out there on the canvas. So when you see someone else's artwork, do you use the same criteria? Like you look at a piece of artwork and say, this makes me feel some way or something,
yeah,
and that's
yeah,
how you
like
tell?
it
Okay.
needs to speak to me in some way.
Yeah. Okay.
I like edges, like I love edge work,
Yeah.
soft and hard. I love that contrast between soft and hard edges. And a little note of color here and there.
Hmm.
Um, and I like all different types of art.
Yeah.
Um, so um so I think the same thing speaks to me. I
Right.
wouldn't know how to paint other than the way I paint. And I like I've tried commissions and I don't do them because of that. I the Newburyport auction a couple of years ago, I submitted a piece and 6 people contacted me and asked me if I could paint that exact piece. And I'm like, no, I can't. I said,
Oh, it's
I
a one of a
cannot.
kind.
I said, I paint from my how I feel. That was how I was feeling. I said, I can get pretty close, but it's
Yeah.
not going to look exactly it is as it
Uh,
is.
right, right,
Um,
right.
and I'm okay with that because like it's just that is not it's not in my wheelhouse. I'm a human, I'm a live wire. Like I feel so much. I feel extreme. So yeah,
You're very
my
connected. You're very
painting
connected.
is that way as well. So
So I was going to say, do you feel you have a mentor? I know you painted with a couple of people, took a couple of classes,
mhm.
but it almost feels like your mentor is yourself. You're self-taught for the most part, yes?
For the most part, I am.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of, like Julie and Lully gave me some technical instruction. Um,
Okay.
and then I look to Robin a lot in the studio, in our studio. Even though she's a very traditional painter, um, she gives me a lot of inspiration. Um,
Nice. Well,
yeah,
they
and I,
say opposites attract, so there's some kind of
yeah,
balance going on there.
we're yin and yang. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
yin and yang.
yeah,
We
totally.
complement one another well. And even just watching her paint
Hmm.
teaches me a lot and sometimes just teaches me to slow down because like my mind just wants to go, go, go. And so
So
and
if
she's
you had a
very,
favorite subject matter, what would it be? Iceland is one of them, certainly. What inspires you? What makes,
what's funny is I don't have a subject matter. Like
right, you really don't.
it's a mark making.
Yeah.
But I really have wanted to get into figurative work. I really want to start thinking about painting in an abstract way, figurative work.
Okay.
Lately. I really enjoy the body. So,
Well,
and I do
totally look
yoga.
forward to that. I would totally look forward to seeing something like that from you because you paint from your heart. You paint what you're feeling. So when you're looking at someone and you're going to paint them, you're going to paint what you feel about them.
Mhm.
So that
Yeah,
would be a really interesting thing. I would love to see that. When you
yeah,
start doing that, I would like to know.
yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking of doing something with yoga poses
Perfect.
in the
Perfect.
new year.
Perfect. Nice, nice. Okay. So, do you teach? Would you teach if people were interested?
Yeah, I've taught in the past,
Mhm.
like at the Council on Aging, and I've taught
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
adults in your report, and then I've thought about doing some workshops. I think moving forward, I'd like to do some workshops, traveling workshops.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, workshops would be cool because most people like around our age probably are more traditional in their paintings. So you would definitely be able to loosen them up to draw more from feelings, paint
yeah,
more from feelings. I think you should do a workshop. That would be awesome.
yeah. I
That'd be
think
very
I'm going
cool.
to so I'm studying to be a yoga teacher, and
Yeah,
I want to incorporate meditation and yoga into my art.
nice, nice,
Yeah,
nice, nice. All right, very cool. Well, you have a lot of very similar interests, so at some point we should just like really talk and stuff. Um,
totally.
Totally, totally. I would love that. Are you kidding? I'd love it, love it. Okay,
Coffee anytime.
anytime. All right, all right. I'll keep that. Keep that.
I'd love to learn the ukulele too.
I have to tell you, I went to Hawaii and I brought back a pink ukulele as a
Yeah,
souvenir. And then I thought to myself, well, why not actually play it?
totally.
So, so I did join a ukulele group. I to play chords. I mean, the I can carry a tune, so I'm pretty sure that's the only reason they haven't thrown me out yet. Because I play the chords, but when it comes to the melody and stuff, I'm kind of like air ooking it most of the
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
you know.
that's
But it's
awesome
it's
though.
great fun. It's great fun. We go to a lot of places. We also are a nonprofit, so we play at nursing homes and
Oh, that's so
yeah, yeah,
fun.
it's awesome. It's very cool. So, yeah, so I absolutely,
And did you
I
learn before you joined, or did you
I tried
join?
to learn a few things before I joined, but I have to say I learned best after I joined. So, yeah, so So
Cool.
it was, and they're an awesome group of people. Musicians and artists, I haven't met any that I really don't like. I think you have to be of a certain mindset or spiritual level or something. I don't know, you know. But
Yeah.
I haven't met anyone that I don't like yet, which is extremely cool. So, so you have paintings out now that people can, you have a show now. Give people
Well, the show at State Street's done.
names and addresses of where you're
Um,
going to be, where you are.
I have a painting at the Joseph Moakley Federal Courthouse in Boston,
Boston, okay,
hanging through January.
okay,
That's a beautiful place to look at art. It's a beautiful building. It's
nice,
in the Seaport. Um, and other than that, you can come to my studio and see my art.
nice, nice. And I think Haverhill Art Association has several exhibits coming up, as a matter
Yeah.
of fact.
Mhm.
So people can kind of just get on our website and look for those exhibits as well. So if people want to get in touch with you, how can they do that? And if you have websites, Instagrams,
Yep.
tell us what those names are.
You can get in touch with me through Instagram. My handle's Heather Karp Art.
No spaces, if I remember
No,
correctly.
Karp is Karp.
Okay,
And you can email me. I think my email's on the Instagram
it
profile
is. Yep,
page.
yep.
And then my
Okay.
website's heatherkarp.com.
All right, very cool, very cool. So, do you have anything else you would like to add, my dear? Yeah, it's totally awesome talking to you. I feel
No, I thoroughly enjoyed this. This was fun.
awesome, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so we'll have to
Got me
get
inspired to
to
go paint.
and inspired to go paint now, and we'll have to get
Yeah.
together talk about meditation. And everyone close your ears. I actually read cards and stuff like that, and
Ooh,
very cool, very
I
cool.
love that.
Yeah, I think we could have quite a conversation.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. This was lovely, lovely,
Thank you so much.
and I hope to see you at the next
Yes.
exhibit.
Have a
All
wonderful
right,
holiday.
all right. You too.
Bye.
Thank you, Heather.
Take care.
You too.